For 25 years, I've watched men walk into my office with their heads down and their voices quiet, telling me the exact same thing. Doctor, I'm not the same anymore. And I always ask them the same question. Are you taking olive oil? Almost all of them say yes. That's the problem. It's not what they're taking, it's what they're missing. And today I'm going to tell you exactly what that is. Hi, I'm Dr. Cristina Navarro, a urologist with more than 25 years of experience, working exclusively with men over 50. I don't treat women or younger patients. My specialty is men who feel their body is failing them and don't understand why. Throughout my career, I've seen thousands of cases, read hundreds of studies, and learned something most doctors never mention in a 15-minute consultation. The decline you're feeling is not inevitable. It's not just aging. It's not your destiny. It's something much more specific and much more manageable. Today, I'm going to explain exactly what's happening, why it happens, and what you can start doing tonight with ingredients you already have in your kitchen. But first, I want you to ask yourself an honest question. Don't answer me, answer yourself. When was the last time you woke up with that signal? You know the one I mean, the one that used to appear on its own without effort, without thinking about it, without needing any stimulation. The one that was simply there when you were 35, 40, maybe even 45. For many of the men who come to my office, that signal disappeared without warning. One day it was there, the next day it wasn't. Instead of looking for an answer, most men just resigned themselves to it. They started avoiding intimacy, making excuses, sleeping on their backs, and feeling like that part of their life was over. I'm here to tell you, it's not over. What you're experiencing has a very clear biological explanation, and it has a solution. A solution that doesn't require pills, doesn't require a prescription, and is probably already in your kitchen. To truly understand it, I first need to explain how your body works. I know some men think, oh great, here comes the biology lecture. No, I'm going to explain something no doctor has ever explained to you in simple terms. Because once you understand it, everything else will finally make sense. An erection is not an act of will. It doesn't depend on how much you desire it, how much you love her, or how hard you try mentally. An erection is a hydraulic event. It's literally blood rushing under pressure into a spongy tissue that fills and hardens, exactly like filling a balloon with water. If the water doesn't enter with enough pressure, the balloon doesn't inflate. It's that simple and that mechanical. That means the problem in the vast majority of cases I see is not in your head. It's in your circulation. The arteries that supply the erectile tissue are the smallest in the entire body. They're thinner than the ones that feed the heart. That makes them the first to be affected when there's any circulatory issue. A study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that a reduction of just 5% in arterial blood flow can cause up to a 50% loss in firmness. 5% reduction are 50% loss. The margin is brutal. Your body doesn't give you much warning. One day things simply stop working the way they should, and you have no idea why. And this is exactly where what I'm about to tell you becomes important. Most men over 50 are already doing something right. Many have already switched from vegetable oil to olive oil. Many are eating more salad, fewer fried foods, fewer processed foods. They're on the right track. Extra virgin olive oil is genuinely one of the most powerful foods for vascular health. It contains monounsaturated fats that protect artery walls and polyphenols that are powerful antioxidants that reduce chronic inflammation. That's why it's the cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet. I recommend it to every single one of my patients. But there's a problem, and I see it repeated in my office week after week. Olive oil protects the structure. It maintains and preserves. But by itself, it cannot do the one thing your body needs most urgently: produce nitric oxide. When I tell my patients this, many ask, what is nitric oxide? It's a molecule produced by the inner lining of your arteries, the endothelium. When the endothelium produces nitric oxide, it sends a signal to the artery walls to relax, open up, and let blood flow with more force. Without that signal, the arteries stay constricted. Blood doesn't flow with enough pressure. And you already know the result. Olive oil protects the endothelium, but it doesn't activate it. To activate it, you need one more ingredient, and that ingredient is vinegar. Yes, vinegar. The same bottle you've had in your kitchen for years that you use on salads. I know what you're thinking when I tell my patients the first reaction is usually an awkward smile as if they expect me to be joking. I'm not joking. The science behind this is solid, well documented, and backed by decades of research. Vinegar contains a compound called acetic acid. When it enters your bloodstream, it reaches the endothelium and activates an enzyme called ANOS, endothelial nitric oxide synthase. That enzyme is literally your body's nitric oxide factory. When it's activated, it produces a cascade of molecules that travel to the artery walls, tell the smooth muscle to relax, and the arteries open. Blood flows with force, with pressure, the exact pressure you need. It works through the same mechanism as medications like Viagra or Cialis. The difference is that those drugs block an enzyme that destroys nitric oxide so it lasts longer. Vinegar, on the other hand, stimulates production at the source. It doesn't patch the problem, it attacks the cause. And there's more. Vinegar doesn't just activate nitric oxide. It does several things at once that all work in the same direction. It reduces blood sugar spikes after meals. Those spikes cause inflammation that damages the endothelium, the exact tissue you need healthy to produce nitric oxide. It lowers systemic inflammation, one of the main factors that deteriorates circulation over the years. It helps your body eliminate visceral fat, the deep abdominal fat that actively suppresses testosterone. It improves the balance of your gut microbiome, which has a direct effect on whole body inflammation. All of these effects converge in the same direction: cleaner, more flexible, more open arteries, better blood flow, better erectile response. Here's the part I most want you to understand. Olive oil and vinegar are both good for you on their own. But when you combine them, they create a real biological, measurable synergy that neither can achieve alone. Olive oil improves the absorption of acetic acid. Its healthy fats act as a vehicle so the acetic acid reaches its target more effectively. Its polyphenols protect the freshly produced nitric oxide from destruction by free radicals. Nitric oxide is a fragile molecule. The olive oil preserves it, gives it time to work, and its anti-inflammatory compounds keep the endothelium more receptive to the next dose of acetic acid. Vinegar lights the spark. Olive oil sustains and amplifies it. Separately, two healthy ingredients. Together, a complete vascular protocol. Let me tell you about a patient who came to me a couple of years ago. He was 61, an engineer, very disciplined and methodical. He had been following a flawless Mediterranean diet for over a year. Olive oil every day, salads, fish, legumes. His primary doctor told him he was doing everything right. Yet he still came to see me because his erectile function had been getting progressively worse and he couldn't understand why. He literally said, "Doctor, if I'm eating so well, why isn't my body responding?" The answer was simple. He was using the shield, but he didn't have the trigger. I explained the vinegar, gave him the exact protocol I'm about to give you, and asked him to follow it every single day for 6 weeks. After 4 weeks, he sent me a message that just said, "The morning signals are back." After 6 weeks, he came in person. He had a completely different face. More energy, more clarity, more confidence. And he told me something I'll never forget. I haven't felt like this since I was 45. It wasn't a miracle. It was biology applied with consistency. Here's the protocol. Listen carefully. The details matter. Step 1. The drink 10-15 minutes before your 2 main meals of the day. Lunch and dinner. Prepare a glass of about 250 ml, 8 to 9 Oz, of water. Add 1 to 2 teaspoons of vinegar. The best choice is unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother, the dark sediment at the bottom. If you can't find it, red wine vinegar also works very well. Do not use distilled white vinegar. It loses most of its beneficial compounds during refining. Pour the vinegar into the water, not the other way around. Stir and drink it slowly over 5-10 minutes. Do not drink it in one gulp. Your esophagus and stomach will thank you. Why before the meal? Because when you eat, especially carbohydrates, your blood glucose spikes. That spike creates inflammation that attacks the endothelium. Taking the vinegar beforehand intercepts that process and protects your artery walls exactly when they're most vulnerable. Step 2, the salad. Once a day, ideally with dinner, prepare a deliberate salad that combines both ingredients. This is the vehicle for your protocol. 2 tablespoons of real extra virgin olive oil, the kind that gives a slight peppery sting in the back of your throat. That sting is oleocanthal, a powerful natural anti-inflammatory. If your oil's completely smooth and neutral, it doesn't have enough of the active compounds. 1 teaspoon of apple cider or red wine vinegar, a base of leafy greens, spinach, arugula, mixed lettuce. Add whatever you like on top: tomato, cucumber, red onion, avocado, bell pepper, etc. Mix the oil and vinegar with a pinch of sea salt. Fresh herbs like oregano or basil are even better. Eat the salad slowly. What to expect and when I'm going to be completely honest with you. Biology doesn't work with magic 48-hour results. Week 1. You probably won't notice anything sexual yet. Instead, you may sleep a little better, wake up clearer, feel warmer hands and feet, and have more afternoon energy. These are signs that your circulation is improving throughout your whole body. Excellent signs that the process has begun. Weeks 2 to 4. This is when many patients start to see the first changes in erectile function. Morning erections begin to return. Arousal feels more spontaneous. Firmness starts to come back. Not everyone at the same speed, but for most men, movement begins in this window. Weeks 8 to 12. With daily consistency, the results become solid and consistent. Your body has adapted, your vascular system has responded, and the improvement is no longer occasional. It's reliable. The key word is consistency. I'm not asking you to do this on Monday and Thursday. I'm asking you to do it every single day. Your body doesn't respond to one desperate week. It responds to 2 months of discipline. Important warnings. Please read these. Never apply vinegar directly to the skin of the penis. Ever. I have had patients arrive with serious chemical burns because they thought more direct wanted faster results. The penile tissue is extremely delicate. This protocol works from the inside out through the bloodstream. There is no topical version. Do not try it. Do not exceed 2 teaspoons per dose. More is not better. It causes stomach upset and makes people quit before they see results. Always dilute it in water. Never drink it concentrated. If you are on anticoagulants, like warfarin, talk to your doctor first. Vinegar has mild blood thinning effects. If you have diabetes and take medication, monitor your glucose more closely at the beginning because vinegar lowers it. If you have acid reflux or stomach ulcers, start with a very small amount and see how your stomach reacts. Use real extra virgin olive oil. Cheap refined olive oil in big plastic jugs has had most of its polyphenols and antioxidants removed. You're buying calories, not the active protective compounds. When you taste good Evo by itself, it should have that slight peppery kick. I've seen this protocol work again and again. One 63-year-old patient was so skeptical that his wife practically dragged him in. 4 weeks later, he called my secretary begging for an urgent appointment. He told me he was sleeping better, had more energy, and toward the end of the 3rd week, the morning erections he hadn't had in almost 7 years had returned. He continued for 12 weeks. At the end, the improvement was complete and consistent. No medication, no expensive supplements. He just needed the one ingredient he was missing. To maximize results, add these simple habits. They're not mandatory, but they accelerate and amplify everything. Walk 30 minutes a day. Drink at least 8 glasses of water daily. Sleep 7 to 9 hours. This is when your body produces most of its testosterone. Reduce alcohol. It directly damages the endothelium and suppresses testosterone. Consider pelvic floor exercises. They strengthen the muscles that help trap blood during an erection. None of these are required for the protocol to work, but together they make results appear faster and stronger. I say this in my office every single day. Erectile dysfunction is not a life sentence. It is a signal that something in your circulatory system needs attention. In the vast majority of cases I see, that signal can be answered with concrete, measurable changes that have no side effects and no dependence on medication. I'm not saying medications don't have their place. They do, and I prescribe them when necessary. But before you resign yourself to depending on a pill every single time you want intimacy, it's worth giving your body the chance to respond on its own when it has the right tools. The olive oil you already have in your kitchen is a powerful tool. It was just missing its partner. It was missing the trigger. It was missing the vinegar. Tonight before dinner, mix 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar in a glass of water and drink it slowly. With dinner, make a simple salad with real extra virgin olive oil and 1 teaspoon of vinegar. Write down on your phone or a piece of paper how you feel today, your energy level, sleep quality, mood. In 4 weeks, read it again. I'm not asking for faith. I'm asking for 4 weeks of consistency. Your body will do the rest. I'm Dr. Cristina Navarro. You can find me on all social media platforms. If this video was useful, share it with a man over 50 who needs to hear it. Because what you don't know, you can't change. Until next time.